Future is here and it looks real bright, and it can be yours too if you set your path right. I'm here to stay, just like a necklace waiting to be pearled, and I'm throwing up the chorus as I'm singing with the world. Wake up, live free, dream big, and see that the world is yours. The world is yours.
Basically, I was introduced to this by a good friend of mine. He's an optician. He has an optical store, and one of his buddies, he's been involved in multi-level marketing and sales since he's 19, came to him with an idea. And whenever this guy comes to him, he actually, he crushes it, and he's been making a lot of money on past multi-level marketing things. He's a successful guy. So I decided to have a listen to it. And basically, so this, I don't know if you've ever heard of arbitrage, but arbitrage is, if you look it up on Google, let's type it in, arbitrage. Arbitrage, the definition is the simultaneous buying and selling of securities, currency, or commodities in different markets or in derivative forms in order to take advantage of differing prices for the same asset. So, for example, if we look at Coinbase Pro, so basically this is not speculation. This is the opposite of speculation, right? I've been trading futures for the past 2 years, and we wanted to make sure, so this is not it, view exchange. So here's the exchange, and then select market. So basically I've been trading futures for the last 2 years, and I've been doing some other things during my, I have my own vitamin company, and I'm a retired pharmacist. I make a living from real estate. Most of my holdings are in real estate, and that's what we survive on. That's how my family lives. And even though we do that, I still have an entrepreneurial spirit, and I still try to, got to do something, right? So besides working out and trying to eat healthy and everything like that, I also like making money. Maybe it's because I'm Jewish, maybe it's in my DNA, I don't know, but it is what it is. So basically, arbitrage is when you take advantage of inefficiencies between markets. So for example, if you look at the screen, you'll see Coinbase Pro open. Coinbase Pro shows you what the cost of Bitcoin US dollars is. It's, let's say, it went down 1.24% today. But the next line, it says Bitcoin Euro. Bitcoin Euro shows that the Bitcoin Euro price shows that it went down 1.08% today, right? Or so there's a difference here, right? Even though there's a difference in the currency exchange, this can be exploited to make money, right? So this is basically, in essence, what this company's doing. And so there's this guy. His name is this guy who brought the opportunity to the United States. His name is Simon Stepsis. And he's a famous multi-level marketer. This guy's worth about 70 million, and he brought this opportunity to my friend Daniel, who's also been doing multi-level marketing since he's 17. This guy gets approached, and you could view the videos on my website, whatever, it doesn't matter. You could look him up. This guy's been approached several times. He's approached with hundreds of different multi-level marketing offers every year, and this year at the start of 2020, this company opened up this opportunity in October. Let me just jump on here. Sorry, in October of 2019, and basically, when he heard about it, he instantly decided to fly to. So when you go on the website, you got to change the language to English because they are international. And so he basically decided to fly to Madrid to check out this trading robot live right away. So basically what this company's done is able to create an algorithm to take advantage of these inefficiencies within markets and to take trades live, all day, 5 days a week, 24 hours a day. But what they've done is, so there's arbitrage within cryptocurrencies. There's arbitrage within Forex. They're the first company to actually do crypto fiat arbitrage. They're the first company that's ever actually been able to take advantage of this and to be able to automate it. And when I first signed up, I was really skeptical, but it sounded so good. I had to try it, right? So first of all, yeah, it's very important who's behind this company. And the guy that's behind this company, I don't know why this isn't showing up. The guy that's behind this company, his name is Gonzalo Garcia Pelayo. Let me try to refresh this. Maybe it'll show up. Whatever, he's not here. But the guy who's behind this company, he's a film producer, he's a film director, he's a radio host. He became famous for learning how to win at roulette on learning how to win at roulette in the 80s. And basically what he did is he discovered that every single roulette wheel has a bias. It's not level, and that certain numbers would come out while playing it. And he, after studying those numbers for about 24 hours, he can give himself a distinct advantage over the field. And they started winning money at roulette. And so they started doing this, and they started in Spain, then they went to Europe, then they went to Vegas. They won over $250 million in roulette, and he won so much money that they even made a movie about him, and you could watch the movie on this website here. The Biography Channel made a movie about him. So the point is they don't just make movies about anybody. And so this guy's legit. You can watch. It was on YouTube, but it got taken down because I think it infringed on like A&E's rights or one of these channels' rights. But they have it posted on the website, and when Cal or Bobby send you guys their affiliate link, you can actually watch the whole movie here. And I recommend you do. It's pretty interesting. And so basically what they do is they use this algorithm robot, and they take a percentage for their gains. Let me see. So they take about 35% from their profits. And I'm going to open up my account and show you everything. I just wanted to, since today's here, let me just open up my account already because I'm rambling. And change this to English. Log in.
A quick question while we're at a hold a little bit here.
Sure.
I'm not able yet to even sign in. Did anybody else have an issue with that? Like, I haven't got any feedback.
Well, you're not a member
So Paul,
yet, are you?
Paul. So yeah, yesterday we actually went through the process of him clicking on the link and setting up, and he never got an email.
Sometimes, so we'll call support. Did you put in your were you able to put in you put in your date of birth and your driver's license ID number?
Yeah, I got all the way up to the login area portal, and then it's continuously said hasn't been validated yet. I even checked.
Oh, okay. So sometimes they have to validate it. I had it happen with my property manager, where I think it'll take 2 days or something like that. But I recommend you send them an email. They're really good about answering emails. So you send it to info@mind.capital. You see, you click support right here, and let's see what their email is. You have a
Well,
question?
he can't get in there, so.
Yeah, it's just info. It's info@mind.capital, and I'll get you the link. I'll get you the. Hold on, let me check right now. Here it is. Support. Yeah, it's info@mind.capital. So just send them an email. Tell them you had an issue logging in, and then that'll be all good.
Got it.
So basically, if you log into this system after, Forex is Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to Forex is Sunday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday to 6:30 p.m. on Friday. So that's why if you log on, so since half of their arbitrage is foreign exchange, if you log on at this time, you're going to see there's no operations being performed. So although you don't make money 7 days a week, it's still good. You still make money 5 days a week. But I have my Skype, so I have some. Oh, perfect. So if you can see here, it's kind of hard to see, but I can kind of explain to you how this arbitrage works. So in the past, they also had the blockchain IDs for each exchange was posted. I don't know if you can see this.
Yo, can you just hit command and hit the plus button at the same time? I think it'll zoom it in.
Oh, perfect.
And can you lose money on? I've never invested or anything. It might be a stupid question, but can you lose money on those off days?
No,
Okay, so nothing happens on the off days. The whole business
no,
is.
nothing happens on the off days. They've actually, hold on, let me save it as ARB, save it, RB pick, and then I'll be able to open it up. Okay, so here we go. Can you guys see this? Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically what happens is how arbitrage works, in order for it to work, is you have to have money and Bitcoin or money and crypto on both exchanges. So you'll have, let's say you have 2 Bitcoin on Binance and you'll have 2 Bitcoin on Kraken. When their system, they have a analyzer that's running all day long, and basically says, it'll say what the loop is, and then it'll say the profitability. So they have it set where once the profitability goes over 2% or something, the engine will actually take action. So in order for this to work, you have to have Bitcoin and you have to have cash on both exchanges. So what happens is one exchange price goes up by 2%, and what the engine instantly does is it sells Bitcoin, and on the other exchange it will actually buy Bitcoin. So that procedure, and I made a bad example. So what it'll do is it'll sell Bitcoin on one exchange, it'll buy Bitcoin on the other exchange. And excuse my middle finger here. So basically what happens is you'll have 3 Bitcoin now in one exchange, 1 Bitcoin on the other exchange. You'll always have the same amount of Bitcoin, except now you have more money here because this was 2% higher than over here. So basically, if I can buy the same banana in China for 2% less, what the system does is it'll sell the banana that I have here and buy the banana that I have there. What happens is I end up with 2% more money, but the same amount of bananas. So what happens is I have the same amount of bananas. So what it has to do is eventually it rebalances. So it'll send this banana back to this exchange and it'll do it all over again. And that's arbitrage. Does that make sense, Thomas? I don't know if you're there.
Yeah, that made perfect sense. I like that banana. That was simple for me.
Okay, so that's so, and now I'll go through it, what it actually does with cryptocurrency and fiat. So what it does is you'll see over here, it starts with $252. Okay, so this is what it does. So it has Bitcoin and money on both exchanges, right? Kraken and Binance. What it does is it will, and this all takes place within a fraction of a second. All these 3 transactions take place within a fraction of a second, and they happen one after the other. So first thing it'll do is it'll buy Bitcoin for Great British Pound, which it'll show you how much money it started with, $252.24, Great British Pound. On the other exchange, it will sell Bitcoin for euro, right? And then it will go to a broker like Oanda, a foreign exchange broker, and it will exchange that euro back to Great British Pound. So you started with 252.24 Great British Pound, and it ended with 256.86 Great British Pound. So if you want to do the math, that's 1.8% profit. So 256 minus 252, then divided by 252, it comes out to 1.8% profit. And it basically does this 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. And you're going to ask me, well, how come you only get 1% of the money then? Because the way the system is built, it is actually built to protect their assets. So 95% of the money goes into a stable coin. Hold on one second. Let's go back here and you'll be able to see. Let me download this also, because you could see this better. Save as and then you'll see it's in US dollar coin. Hold on a second. Okay, that didn't work. But if you see, it's all the money's being held and US dollar coin. So US dollar coin is the air conditioning on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you. So US dollar coin, if you don't know, it's a stable coin. It doesn't change in price, right? Although in actuality, it does change in price. It could be $1 equals 99 cents and a million fractions. So it does change. So what they did to combat that is they created their own coin called MC coin. MC coin is held.
You sure it's the bottom one?
No, I don't know. Maybe no, it's the top one. Maybe. Thank you. Sorry about that. So MC coin is their own coin that is. They created their own coins, so they're not open to the fluctuations of even the stable coins. So your money is set perfectly there. Let me just give me a second. I didn't eat yet today. I'm trying to do this intermittent fasting, and it's messing with me. So basically, what they did is ingenious, right? So 95% of your money is held in a stable coin. So this MC coin, if you don't know about crypto, usually there's an initial coin offering called an ICO, and then it's released onto an exchange, and then that price of that coin fluctuates. This company actually opened their own exchange June 1st, and this MC coin is not being released for initial coin offering. It's basically there to make sure that your money is protected, and that make sure that your fee, you don't lose money on fees or even a fraction of a dollar on a stable coin. And it's ingenious because, so when I first started this, I was really skeptical, and it didn't really make sense to me until fully 100% why they did that until this morning. And the reason is because I didn't understand why, if they're so profitable, why are they not trading with all of their money? Why are they keeping 95% of your money on a stable coin and only using 5% of your money to trade with? And the reason is they want to protect you from the volatility of Bitcoin. Like a few days ago, Bitcoin was almost 10,000. Now it's 9,300. So when it takes these 5% swings, it goes a little crazy. So for example, their goal is to return between 0.5 and 1.5% in profits per day. And they're able to do this. Now, I was so skeptical that I even hired a developer to actually mimic their system. And I'm in progress, and I'm probably going to be finished within the next 2 weeks with my own arbitrage robot that runs automatically and does basically the same thing as they do. And the first thing I wanted to make sure is this real, right? Is this a Ponzi scheme? Are they just collecting our money and then just one day somebody's going to disappear? And the answer is no, it's not a Ponzi scheme. And it's more of a hedge fund because they're making money on your profits. And, even with their downline, it's proven that the more people you sign up, the more money they make. It's not opposite. Like, why would you want, if you had your money in there, why would you want me to sign up more money to get it more diluted? But in actuality, the more money they make less per transaction, but the more people you have in there, they actually make more money. So, and the reason why this is so amazing is because they're only trading with 5% of your money. So when I hired the developer, the results the developer showed me is that there's a 1% arbitrage opportunity within the same exchange every hour. So 24 hours a day, right? So then I started thinking about it because I was on one of my good friends, he's a IT guy. He's the head IT guy for Michael Dell. And he knows Python, and he knows all these program things. So I was on the phone with him this morning for 2 hours right before you called me, Cal. And I was asking him, I was like, listen, and it's really hard for me to get a hold of him. He's half the time he's in Hawaii, half the time he's in New York. He's constantly, he literally lives in an RV outside of Michael Dell's house. So he's constantly, he's his chief IT guy. He's a genius, to be honest. And I met him through one of my friends. And he basically said, listen, they're making 1 to 2% every hour. So they're using that 5% of your total investment. And throughout the course of 24 hours, they're making you 1% without exposing you to the volatility of the crypto, which is fucking genius. Because guess what? they're making probably even more than 1% over that 24 hours, because there's a 1 to 2% opportunity every hour. And then you compound that transactionally, they're making their money. So they're giving you your 1.5% to 1.5% per day, which for us is great. We don't care, because that's an amazing profit. Like, where am I going to make in the last month? I made $4,400 off of a $31,000 investment. It just doesn't happen. And I don't know, Bobby, you were on the call with me last week. You saw I had like nothing in here because I just transferred my money. This is the amount of money I made this week. So my returns are $224 yesterday, which was Friday. The day before, $219. The day before, $196. The day before, $178. The day before, $186. And Thomas, to answer your question, it sounds crazy, but I didn't lose money since the day that I started this. So for the past 4 months, this thing has been profitable every day. And I'm going to show you how fast it is to withdraw the cash also. So, obviously not every day is going to be over 1%, but the good thing is I wake up every night and I see that I have money in my account. Like last week, I made $960. This week it's $1,023. And to be honest with you, to see how transparent this company is, that's what I was talking to Bobby about it. I'm like, listen, this is like amazing. So here are my purchases. Where is my purchase? No, that's not it. Balances. And then here are my purchases, see detail. So I can literally, I started this on January 19th. And I put in, at first I was skeptical, I put in $800. And you can only withdraw your initial investment after 90 days. So my initial investment, after I saw that I was making money every day, and I have a friend, he has 200 grand. Bobby's been on the call. I can send you guys the video later. The guy's making $60,000 a month now from this. Plus, he has an amazing referral downline. And so basically, I invested 20 grand. So here's 8,600. I can withdraw this purchase today. 5,000, 100, 2,000, 100, 4,400, 110, 150. I can withdraw all this money today. This one, I can withdraw within 2 days. The next one, it'll show you withdraw within 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. Why? Because I was compounding my profits. So this company actually allows you to, okay, it's not letting me, oh, my profile, here we go. This company actually allows you to compound your profits. But the reason why I invested 20 grand is because so it says to optimize your returns and take advantage of the normal potential of compound interest, you can activate the option to buy MC coin automatically. Now, I don't know if you guys heard this, Einstein said compound interest is like the eighth wonder of the world, right? And you could Google that. If you activate this option when your account balance reaches $100, a purchase of $100 will be automatically made into your purchases less than the 10. So they round it up. So they make it an even amount of money that goes into your purchases. So basically, any money that you invest, let's say you were to invest 30 grand and you made $1,000 this week in profits, you can pull that money out instantly. I'm going to pull this money out in front of you guys by the end of the call. But the 30 grand that you put in, you would have to let it sit there for 90 days, which is great. See, like I can pull out my money. I wish I didn't, hold on a second. I can literally pull my money out right now if I want to, but I would be stupid to do that because they just opened an exchange. They're growing every single day. Usually, technically, these pandemics would destroy a company like this. If you know, when Madoff went bankrupt or whatever, when Madoff had an issue, his thing was it was during 2008, I think it was, right? 2008, a meltdown. So when tons of people want to pull their money out at the same time, companies like this go bankrupt. And the fact that they performed so well during the pandemic, where we've made money every single day and we've pulled out money every single day, that's actually amazing. I don't like saying shit is amazing, but that's amazing. And as far as the referrals go,
on that point, why didn't you have that compound interest box checked if you're using the compound interest?
Okay, so I did have it box checked. the whole time, because I wanted to pull out some of my money. So the way I'm pulling out my initial investment is through my profits weekly, because,
Okay.
I don't know about you guys. I'm married and I have a wife, and my wife was like, "You're a moron. You need to pull some money out of your account." I'm just being honest. Like
Yeah.
I plus it's for me, if I can pull out $1,000 a week, it makes me feel good. Plus I
It's a
have
good
another
living.
system and I have another strategy that I'm using with Coinbase to even increase my profits based on the price of Bitcoin every single week. So now that Bitcoin went down, it's 9,300. I'm going to buy Bitcoin right now with this balance. And when Bitcoin goes up to 10,000, like it does every week, I'm going to pull it out and I'm going to put it back in here. So when your money's in here, you're actually protected from the fluctuations of Bitcoin. So when I pull out my money, it doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. If Bitcoin is 10,000, it's going to give me 0.1 Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is 1,000, it's going to give me 1 Bitcoin. Doesn't matter what the price of Bitcoin is. When I pull my money out, I pull my money out in my dollars. So if you're bullish on Bitcoin, great. If you want another way to protect your Bitcoin profits, this is like a perfect way to do it. And that's actually what I'm doing. Plus, now that I'm actually sharing this, Thomas, to be perfectly frank, now that I'm actually sharing this opportunity with other people, the biggest question I get is, have you pulled money out of this? And I want to make sure. So here's my transactions. So last week, sorry, I got to move this thing. Last week, I pulled out $400. See, balance withdrawal. That was like the first time I ever pulled it out. So this actually shows purchase with balance. So this is me compounding my profits, right? Hold on, I'll show
So
you.
after the 90 days, so you put 30K in, it has to stay for 90 days. If you
I put
don't
in
touch,
20K.
so
After
if you don't
90,
touch it after the 90 days, does it like start another 90-day investment starts up automatically, or does it just continue on, day to
no,
day because you didn't
no,
touch it?
no. No, of course not. So
So it just
basic,
continues on for you and you can take it out whenever after 90 days.
yeah. So let me open up my purchases so you can actually see how this works. And I'll go over this with you because this is interesting. So if you see, like, this purchase that I made it 9 days ago, right? I decided, let me compound my profits a little, because I had like a little bit under 30 grand, which just visually, I didn't like the way it looked. So I started compounding my profits a little bit to get me over 30 grand. So that's what I did. That's why now it says I have 81 days left, right? Before I can withdraw this money. Plus, it's pretty cool. It'll tell me how much money this investment actually made for me so far. So this $1,100 actually made me $44 from May 27th, right? So if I go back to the final page where I can actually pull my money out, this $100 that I put in here made me $50. So I made 50% on this $100 investment already. This $100 made me 60. So if I would have left all my money, if I would have put all my money in here from day one, 20 grand, as of today, I would have made 67% on my money. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So on this, because I had $100 versus, yeah. So if you would have put 100 grand in 90 days ago, you would have had 167,000 right now. And it tells me you can withdraw this purchase. So when I click withdraw this purchase, the way they do it with this initial purchase is if I request my money before the 14th of June, I will be paid out between the 5th and the 10th of the month of July. But a lot of people were complaining that you're holding onto my money and I'm not making profits on it this period of time. They changed that. While your money is sitting with them for that month, that's just how they do it. If you request your money on the 15th of June, you're going to already get it between the 5th and the 10th of August. But as far as money that I made on my purchases, that's in my current balance, you see how they split it up? So this current balance comes from, my current balances. So this current balance comes from the past 5 days right here. 186 plus whatever, 70 cents I made on referrals, plus 178 plus $2 I made on referrals, plus 196 this whole thing, if you add this up, this adds up to $1,023.20, which I can pull out right now, and I will directly to my Coinbase. Actually, Cal, you wanted me to send you. So how this works is the initial investment, and they changed it for countries like Africa. It used to be $100, but the initial investment is $40 now. So even if you don't
mean like
have
the minimum investment.
The minimum investment that you can put in there in order to refer people and take advantage of this 8% level one is $40. So let's say, for example, I introduced Cal to it, and Cal is going to introduce Steele to this or whatever. So Cal would make 8% of Steele's daily profits. And this comes from the 35% administration fee from Mind.Cap. So Steele would not lose any money because Cal signed him up. It comes directly from them. And what's interesting is, so this multi-level marketing thing only has 10 levels. There's no monthly fees. And what's amazing is even if Cal doesn't have a large bank account and can't participate himself financially, because me initially, I didn't refer anybody until like about 10 days ago, because I wanted to make sure that I could pull my money out. I wanted to listen. I think, like I said, I'm a retired pharmacist. I'm not looking to steal money from anybody. I have, you can only eat 3 times a day. You can only be in the same room at one time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not looking to hurt anybody or screw anybody. And that's why I hired a developer. That's why there's nobody who has vetted this opportunity more than me, and with my own money, risking my wife killing me if this didn't go well. So, and they just opened up their own exchange June 1st. That's why they changed their whole website and stuff. And opening their own exchange, I was wondering, I'm like, why are they opening their own exchange? And Kevin Dill, he's Michael Dell's IT guy. He told me, because by opening their own exchange, they're going to be able to increase their arbitrage profits even more. So I have a friend that does this. He signed up also. He does this with Indian rupees and stellar lumens. And he's just like, listen, he's got a full-time job. He does like business loans. And he's like, look, man, I don't want to do this. I don't want to wake up at 7 a.m. and then wait for 2 days for me to get my money back. So this really isn't a revolutionary opportunity. And the thing is with this is, the more people that you sign up, as you see here, in order to get past level 4 and 5, you have to have a $5,000 initial investment in the system. So past level 2, Cal would have to invest $5,000 to reap the rewards of this, right? So, and I'm sure he will, because you would be crazy not to want to participate in these type of returns. You know what I'm saying? But they're protecting themselves. So in order to get to level 10, I have to personally invest $100,000 and get $650,000 to my team if I want to make this like a career. You know what I'm saying? My friend has $200,000 invested in this. The guy who signed me up, and he's I don't want to get him on the phone because he's really doesn't shut up. But like he's invested heavily into this. He's got over 1.3 million dollars brought in. He signed up 22 people, and the rest of his 22 people signed up another 326 people. So he's just busy helping people, sign people up. He's making $1,000 a day from his referrals. And this other guy, he's making, this guy Simon that I told you about from UK, he's making about $3,000 a day from referrals. He's doing about $5,000 a day in profits right now. So, I mean, there's no better opportunity right now that I've seen to make money, and I've tested it out. And, there's no pressure. We don't tell anybody, listen, you should invest X, Y, and Z. Everybody invests what they feel comfortable with. And that's about it. So if you want, we can do some transfers right now. Cal, you wanted to put in $40 for now, right?
Yeah.
So if you want, I'll make it possible for you to share so let me show you how you do that. So I would actually, so you go here, make withdraw funds, right? And it's going to actually make you stay online for about a minute, because it wants to make sure that you're not like a hacker or a bot. So you do the same thing, and then you say the minimum you could put in, I guess, is $50. So the minimum for me to withdraw is $50. So if you want to do $50, we could do that, or I could do it from my Coinbase, whatever you want.
No, I don't care. 50 is cool.
Yeah, so I can withdraw it directly from here to you. So basically what you want to do is go click this button right here. Actually share your screen. That way hold on a second. Let me
So
let me
should I
stop.
just say request remote control?
No, I'm going to say multiple participants can share. Now you could just click your
Share
button
screen.
and then share your screen.
Can you see it?
Yep. So then go to where the coins are, make a new purchase. Log in because you probably took too much time.
Oh yeah.
Make a new purchase, accept and pay with Bitcoin, and then put $50 in there. Okay, and then scroll down, click pay. Okay, so then what you want to do is copy and paste me these two numbers in the chat.
Cool.
And then after I do this, I'll show you guys how fast the money comes to Coinbase, because that's the real mark of you can see how legit this is, because it comes in so fast. There's no like human intervention where somebody's got to approve to get your money out. Okay.
I think,
Okay.
does that look right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so stop sharing. Okay, now I'm going to share my screen. All right, so now we're here, and this is good so you guys know how to do this. Where's my, okay, so now I'm going to withdraw funds. Withdraw funds. Okay, hold on, where's the chat? Chat, chat. Enter the address of the wallet. We'll see. And then 50, right? Oh,
Yep.
2FA. So then I have to do my two-factor FA, and then you'll PayPal me the money after.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
And there's no penalties for any of these withdrawals for the profits or at any point?
They take a small fee. So you'll see that they take like $2-3 or whatever, or something like that. They take a small fee, but who cares?
Okay.
You know, what are you going to do?
So it's not a percentage fees, because like $2 or $3 off of 50 compared to a percentage of taking out 5,000, you know?
You know, I think it might be a percentage. They might take a couple points, maybe 2% or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't want to lie, but we'll see right now, because I'm going to take out 1,000.
Oh, got it.
Okay, so it's saying, you see, it's the credit will be transferred to the address indicated. Okay, so now let me see. Okay, so I just sent you $50. It didn't matter. You didn't have to. So I just sent you $50.
Let's look at your screen now, Cal.
Oh,
All right,
shit.
so now,
I think I might have. Oh, no. It should work. Yeah, let's look at
You
your
did it
screen.
right.
Yeah, I did.
so
it
I
right,
can
right?
share.
Okay.
I can share my screen now again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll refresh it and see if the 50's in there.
Cool. So I'll hit OK
Click
here,
OK. Yeah,
and then refresh.
I guess.
Hit the home button.
Home button.
Yeah, it's there. You see, it's pending already.
It's there. It's there.
Where do you guys see it?
Go back to
Transactions.
transactions.
I saw it. Where'd it go? Purchases.
I saw it there pending for a minute.
Purchases. Go to. Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, pending.
Okay, and then you could, and then to check this transaction in the blockchain. You could do that if you want. But since it's account to account, whatever, you'll see it in a little bit. But if you want, we'll show the click the question mark button. Okay, whatever. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
'Cause
we are
did it a
validating the
little.
payment. Payment verification is automatic. Please do not. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably we did it a little differently because I sent it to you from my thing versus sending it from Coinbase. So
Hey, Paul, when you did this with me, the same day within
no,
probably
it'll come
within
within a couple of
hour,
hours.
it
Yeah. So
it
you'll
went
see
from
it right now.
pending to approved. And then what will happen, Kyle, is it'll probably be Tuesday night before you'll see a purchase.
Cool. Yeah, it says right here. It says you will start receiving returns in 2 to 3 working days maximum, depending on the time difference with each country.
So for me, I did this last Monday. Monday, I didn't get any purchases. Tuesday through Friday, I got purchases.
Yeah, so probably Monday, Tuesday. Cool.
It might even be faster because because we did it from Mind.Cap to Mind.Cap. So
Yeah.
so stop sharing, and then we'll go back to my thing, and then I'll transfer the rest of my purchases to my Coinbase, and you'll see how fast because we did this a little weird because I did it Mind.Cap to Mind.Cap versus Mind.Cap to Coinbase or Coinbase to Mind.Cap. So it's we did it a little differently because you could do that too because some people have multiple accounts. So what you could do is, see, my current balance is already gone. The money's already left. So I'm gonna actually transfer this to my Coinbase right now. So let me open up another account, Coinbase, sign in, and then I'm gonna have to do this 2-factor authentication. So you have Coinbase. All right. So this is my balance, whatever. And portfolio, Bitcoin, and then I'm gonna say receive, right? So this is the wallet address. So I'm gonna copy it, and then I'm gonna go back to Mind.Capital, and I'm gonna say withdraw funds, and then withdraw funds. I'm gonna make sure this is my wallet. Yeah, this is it. And then I'm gonna say, let me withdraw all of it, right? Why not? 973. I think Bitcoin is low now anyway. This is what I mean. When Bitcoin is low and you withdraw it, you'll make money because by the time Bitcoin goes up, this is Mind.Cap.
But you can always just withdraw it from Coinbase into cash as well.
Of course, your Coinbase is connected to your bank account.
Your bank.
So the credit will be transferred to the address indicated. And it's doing it right now. And this green little box will actually say it's done. Okay, didn't say anything, but now you see my balance is gone. And so that now we go to Coinbase and we'll see, you have to give it a couple minutes. I'm not gonna lie to you and say this happens like instantly, but I just got an email. See, Coinbase just received, I just got an email. You just received $940.78 to my Coinbase. That's how fast it is. So if I look at my
Refresh it.
I gotta refresh it, right? Hold on, let me move this bar.
And what's the difference between what you transferred and what you received?
$30.
Yeah, for the fees.
I think it's like 3% or something like that. So you just received Bitcoin. You see how fast it was? $940. So I transferred 973. So it's 973 minus 940.78. It's $32.22 divided by 973.
That's 3%.
It's 3% plus. Both exchanges take money from you. So not only does Mind.Cap take money, Bitcoin, Coinbase also takes money. So, Thomas, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So where was the 3% come from? And is the 3% from Coinbase? And if so, how much is the total charge, right? Or was the 3% total with both with
It's
both
total
knocks.
with it's total with both. But then once
Okay.
you're gonna wanna pull the money out of Coinbase, they're gonna charge you as well. That's why I decided to send because like this $940. Let's see what's going on right now. Prices, right? Bitcoin is 96.30. Like yesterday, let's just look at this thing. If you look at it within
Okay.
24 hours, yesterday it was 90, or this morning it was 90. So like you can benefit from this. You can benefit from like if you see, because basically Bitcoin hovers between, so if we see a week, Bitcoin was at 10,428, and then it went down to 9,600. So when you see Bitcoin fluctuation, during normal times, during the pandemic or whatever, it went down to 3,800 in like a few days. So when you see the pricing of Bitcoin fluctuate, like, oh, Bitcoin is low now, technically, it's a good time to pull your money out of Bitcoin and pull your money out of Mind.Cap and put it into Bitcoin. So that's basically what I did. So if you see the thing there, it just shows that I made $1,000 this week, and that's with paying Cal and all that stuff.
So when your money was in the Bitcoin, could you make up that 3% fee technically if you pulled it out at the right time?
Yeah, of course. So basically they charged me $30, right? So
Right.
if it's going to go up to $10,000 like it did last week, or like it does, if you start watching it every day, you'll see that Bitcoin, it's like it chops between 10,000 and 9,300, 8,800. It goes up and down. It fluctuates around like 10% every couple weeks, even sometimes even more depending on the economy. But it usually does go with the S&P 500. So the fact that the economy is booming right now, it's going to go up. So a lot of people that do this arbitrage thing, they do it themselves. They're bullish on Bitcoin. So they don't care what the Bitcoin price is. Like we look at Bitcoin like equipment. Like my friend Daniel, and his account, he's got almost $1 million in Bitcoin. And he's like, I'm not pulling it out until it's $100,000 of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, a history about Bitcoin, there's only 21 million Bitcoins, and they've mined 18.5 million of them. The last halving was on May 16th, which is what kind of helped Bitcoin go up a little bit. So it's only going to become more rare. And as the world economy implodes, as all these countries implode and people go nuts, a lot of people, what they're doing is they're scared about their local currency. They're putting it into Bitcoin. Like when China had this whole, when China had this whole thing going on with Hong Kong, they just transferred all their money back into Bitcoin because they were scared. People were scared that the currency was going to be worthless. Like if there's a civil war in China, and they have new money, just like happened with Ukraine and Russia, people had
Venezuela.
suitcases. Yeah, Venezuela, exactly. When it happened in Venezuela, there was lines down the block. People couldn't pull their money out. I actually know a place where if you buy Bitcoin right now, I can get you 10% above the Bitcoin price. People will give you cash for it because that's, a lot of people have money. And if you just think about the economy in general, a lot of people make like restaurants. Some people make money in cash, and they want to, it sounds bad, but there's dubious people that don't want to pay taxes and want to clean it. And one way to do it is through Bitcoin. That's why the federal government is so against it and the big banks bash it. Meanwhile, Chase is buying all the Bitcoin up. So even though they're bashing it so people sell it so they can buy it, So it's
So we need to have Bitcoin account and Coinbase and Mind.Capital. We need all three of those things working right now.
no, Bitcoin is like a coin that's sold on Coinbase. So you can use any.
So Coinbase.
You
Okay,
can
so
use
probably
any
Bitcoin.
exchange. You can use Coinbase if you want. You could use the Winklevoss twins on Gemini. You could use any exchange, and that's why a lot of times you can also buy your own Bitcoin wallet. So a lot of people had tons of Bitcoin on these, like, on your USB device or whatever, and then they lost it. So they lost all their money because it's private. It doesn't have your name on it. Coinbase, because it's located in New York, you have to give your ID. It's just like a bank account. It's even more strict than a bank account. You have to give your ID, your driver's license. They take pictures of you. They take pictures of the driver's license. it's not a joke, because if you lose, there are hackers. If you lose access to it, then you could lose all your money technically. So it's like a bank account. But that's why they even have two-factor. You know what two-factor authentication is? It's
Yeah.
you have it. So that you have these private
Yeah, I
numbers
use
scrolling, so you can't even you can't withdraw the funds from your account unless you have some number that's changing every minute on your phone. So
got it.
it's pretty safe. Like they had this guy, I forgot the guy's name. Some hackers, they stole like 30 million in Bitcoin from him, but it was a famous guy. I forgot the guy's name right now. The kid was 16 years old who stole it. He was like, there was an article on Newsweek like last week, but they caught him, they caught him and stuff. But that's why you should enable your two-factor authentication and so on and so forth. But like I said, if I log out, I'll show you.
So like if you jump back to your Coinbase page, and like see that Bitcoin scale again, you lost the $35 fee for the transaction. So if you sold or if you pulled your money out now when Bitcoin was at 10K, what would that difference be compared to pulling it out at 9,600?
0.04%. So 0.04%. So it's like 4%, right? So since it's 10,000, so your money would be like 9. See, I'm good with math, right? It's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're asking me these hard questions. 940 times 1.04, it's 977. I would have actually made $3.
There you go. Because the idea obviously is like to try to minimize all these little losing $30 on every transaction for 10 years. All that kind of stuff adds up. So it's like if you play with it enough, or if you pay attention to it enough, and I needed to pull money out, then I should just watch it when it goes up, do it at the right time, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, and then if you have one swing where it goes from 10 to 20K, then like that can make up for all the fees, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So here's the thing. Exactly what Cal stole the words out of my mouth, right? Like unless you're a professional investor and you know how to read charts, and if you're in a bullish or bearish market, and divergences, and because here's the thing, right? It's easy to try to time the market. You're like, oh, look, it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. But when you don't have your money in the market, all of a sudden it stepped up, right? Like Apple was $90 for like over a year. All of a sudden I pulled my money out. Next thing I know, it went up to 170, right? So it's those days that you're not in the market where you lose. So this gives you an or vice versa, right? It's like saying, oh, Bitcoin is cheap right now. Let me play devil's advocate, because I want you to be certain what's going on and why this is such a good investment. So let's say you see Bitcoin is 9,600, right? And you're like, wow, Bitcoin is cheap right now. Let me put my money into here. There's nobody telling you that Bitcoin isn't going to go down to 9,300. I can't guarantee. It's like catching when you counter trend trade. That's what you're talking about. Counter trend trading. You're basically trying to catch a falling knife, and you can't. Right. If you're trying to do this for money, what you do is, so let's say you're doing this for an income, or you want to invest 20 or 30K, and you need that $1,000. Think about it. You're making, in the last 30 days, I made 14.7%. So to you and to me both, because I don't like the adrenaline and the hot plate feeling of investing and sitting there. I'm not a day trader, right? I'm not going to sit there all day long and bite my nails over $30. No.
Right. I'm trying to gamble. You're
not trying to gamble, but you are gambling because you're not an expert.
We are, yeah.
And you're not gambling, you're speculating, right? A person who is bullish on Bitcoin, like my friend Daniel, is never going to sell his Bitcoin. So he's constantly buying Bitcoin every day. So when he sees, it's a little cheaper, for him, it's Bitcoin is on sale, let me put my money in there. But for people like me and you, when I transfer that money to Coinbase, the next thing that I do as soon as my money's in there is transfer it to my bank account, and if you get lucky and it goes up, great. If not, you can always put that Bitcoin into, you could always, so here's what you could do. So there's also something called, where's portfolio? There's a US dollar coin. You see this USD coin? So what you do once you transfer your money into Bitcoin, you instantly transfer into US dollar coin, because US dollar
And that's just a
coin,
stable coin, right?
it's a stable coin. So the prices of US dollar coin is $1. There you go. So $1 gives you $1 US dollar coin. Sometimes, and there's also another one called US dollar tether, USDT, but I guess they just have US dollar. Sometimes this will, from a dollar, it'll go to 99.9999998 cents, you know? So you'll lose a penny. But like that's what I'm saying. Like for me and for everybody else that understands this, there's no, like, your bank gives you 0.01%. I'm making 14% plus with the compounded interest. You can make almost 20% per month, you know, depending on how much money you put in there, you know. If you put in $100, it's not going to let you compound your profit till you made $100. So if you put in $100, let's just say you're making $650 a day, you're going to make, you know, no, I'm sorry. If you put in $1,000, you're going to make $6.50 a day. So if you put $100, you're going to make 65 cents a day. 65 cents on average times 20, it's what is it? 65 cents times 20, it's $8.45, right? $8, and that's like 10% per month. And then if you put it back in there, you know, whatever you want to do, it's a good investment. And the fact that this company is so transparent and has, like Bobby was asking me, you know, Bobby, I don't know if you allow me to share this, what you wanted to do. You can share yourself, actually. Like Bobby was interested in putting $100,000 in here, you know? And I told him, I said, listen, if you're going to do it, I would put all my money in right away. And I figured out, to answer your question, I figured out how you do this. The best way to do it is you would put like 10,000 or 15,000 on your first level, and on your second level you would put the rest of the money, so that you can get this full 8%. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense to put 8 then 4, because then your initial guy isn't going to be making the 8%. So I would just split it between 2 accounts and call it a day. And then in 90 days from now, because I know what happened to my friend's account in 90 days, and my friends, and I actually have a video of it, and I can send it to you guys later. I'm going to put it on YouTube, or with his permission, or I'll make it private and I'll send it to you later so you could see his account. He made 75% on his money within the first 90 days. So that $100,000 turned into 75,000 when he let it compound after 90 days. After 90 days, instead of him pulling out his money, he just decided to leave it in there and to pull out his profits daily, kind of like how I did, except I pulled it out once a week, you know? Because I really believe in, the more that I'm developing and working on my own bot, my developer's in Madrid, and I'm making him sign up under me and go directly to their office, because I want him to see exactly what they're doing. And today I figured it out. They're using 5% of their money over 24 hours. It's going to give them around 1% per day, which is like, it's really ingenious, because it doesn't matter what happens in the market. The more the market moves up and down, the more arbitrage there is. The more volatility equals the more arbitrage. But what they've done is figure out a way to even stop the volatility from affecting their equipment, you know? So if you had to oil your equipment every day, like, and you don't know, because these guys are math geniuses or whatever, when they see the market is turning into a bullish market and things are going up, I'm for sure positive that they're using some of this money. I mean, they're compounding their profits transactionally. For us, they're compounding our profits every 2-3 days, you know? So they're making money on the compounding. They're making money on the referrals. They're making their money, you know? I can see where they're making their money. This is a fund. This is not a Ponzi scheme, you know? And the fact that, and this button during regular days shows that there is, you can actually view some technical Zoom videos from, you know, every 2 weeks they go live on Zoom, and they show some technical Zoom videos. You could ask them questions. You could ask them to actually, you know, to show their accounts and different things like that, and they do that. So, well, I talk too much. If you guys have questions, go ahead.
Anybody else first? I asked a bunch, but I have more.
Go for it,
Okay,
Thomas.
go ahead, Coach.
Well, you had just now, like, when you mentioned 2 accounts, why would you need 2 accounts? What do you mean, 2 separate deposits or 2 literal accounts?
So I'm being totally honest here, right? Like, I want you guys to make money. If you're going to invest your money, I'm not going to lie to you and keep my mouth shut and say, hey, just put all your money into level 1. Then Bobby gets 8% of your funds or whatever. So the thing is if you're making money on your money, right? Let's say I didn't do this, which I should do this, and I'm probably going to do this. But on my purchases right now, I have 31,000 that I put in. I only have 1 account, right? But let's say I put in $10,000 into 1 account, and then I created a second account with a second email, right? I can create a second account with a second email under my wife's name, for example, and put that 20,000 out of that $30,000 into her account, so that not only do I make 0.1% per day, I'll also make 8% from an additional 1%, basically, from my profits. You get it or no?
Yeah, as a referral, because she's under
As a
you.
referral, exactly.
Got it.
So like that's the only that's the only like thing that I didn't do. But to me, it didn't really additional, and it's a lot of money. It's an additional 1%. If you put in 100 grand, that means that the second guy behind the guy that signed you up is going to make an extra $80 a day, which is a lot of money,
Right.
So it doesn't make sense to go further and make 5 accounts and do that. But for the first 2 accounts, it does make sense to do that. And anybody on my team or on Bobby's team, or we want you to maximize your profits.
Okay.
Is what
So
I'm
that
saying.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I like that. So but is that mainly for like those bigger purchases? So if I was going to put 5,000 in or something along those lines, just put that
It's
into
not
the
really
first one,
gonna.
or-
It's not really gonna matter because, so if you put $5,000 in, right? But we're talking about like $3, a day.
Okay.
So it's up to you, Plus, Thomas, you got to realize that once you have friends and family that are going to want to get involved in this also, and part of that being is, because I'm the social proof, right? I've been in this since January 19th. So part of it is since I make a little piece on it, Bobby makes a little piece on it. You'd want to get me on the phone so that I can share my accounts and show you my history, which is what we're basically trying to do here. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So actually after today's video, I'm going to actually also compound my profits as well, because I want to get just realizing everything there. I want to get to that. And they ask you for your 2-factor authentication, because I actually.
So that's what I was asking. Why wasn't this checked earlier? And what is it doing? What is it not doing for you by not having it checked? Was that just to show us?
Yeah,
or
that
did
was
you
just,
have to do
no,
something?
No. So when I check this button, right, what's going to happen is every single day when I go to my balances and I go to returns, let's just see detail, right? Every single day that, no, that's the wrong one. Hold on a second. Let's see, returns purchase, whatever. So what's going to happen is you see I made $224. Instead of it going to my current balance, they're going to withdraw this it's $224.37. They're going to withdraw this $224.37, and they're only, they round it up. So it's going to be $224 is going to go into my purchases. So by the end of next week, instead of it being in my balance, you're going to have an extra $1,000 in my purchases, which from this $1,000, I'm only going to be able to take it out after 90 days versus me being able to take it out just like I showed you today instantly, So if you don't want to if you don't want to, because what this does is helps you grow your account. So I started with 20 grand and I basically made 13,000 within the, since January 19th.
Does the compound interest begin after the 90 days only?
No, it starts right away.
Oh, that's daily. Okay.
Yeah. So let's say
even
you
for your
put in,
first initial 90, you can boom.
Right. So the only thing is so if you want to take advantage of that compound interest, I recommend putting in like 15 or whatever, like 15 or 20 grand, because then because they promise you 0.5%. Usually it's closer to 1%. I think I went through it. So if you get 1%
Yeah.
of let's say $15,000, you get 1%. That's $150, and then let's say $150 times 0.35. It's $52, right? So let's say they take $50 administration fee, so you'll be left with $98 or something like that, and then you'll only compound it every 2 days. That's why I put in 20 grand, because I wanted it to compound 5 days a week, so that it's going to give me that velocity that I want, to build my account, because now I'm making money off of their profits. So that's why when you're asking about like fees and stuff, I don't really care about the fees, because I'm making so much in profit. The fees are nominal. You know what I mean? That 3% is,
you already have that factored in. It's just part of the process.
It's part of the process. Exactly.
Okay.
They even have new products coming out, but I'm not interested in speculating. I'm interested in opening up my computer at night. I was away in Maine over the weekend. I didn't even know how much money I made. I looked at this thing. I said, "Oh wow, I made $1,000 this week." I don't have to worry about, did my Coca-Cola stock go up? Did my Apple stock go down? What happened to Microsoft? Shit, should I have sold it? Should I have bought it? No, I don't have any of that anxiety, because I know that I can't deal with that stress. I would just rather make less money. You're making more money, but what I'm saying is I don't want to speculate, because could you make, the statistics show that 95% of Forex traders lose money, So the only way you make money is by doing what that 5% do. And figuring out that 5% could take you like 20 years and tons of cash. Trust me, I'm actually teaching. If you're interested in, I've been trading futures for over 2 years, and I'm really good at what I do. If you're interested, I have a class going on tomorrow at 7 p.m. with one of my students, and actually 2 students, because they trade futures. So I wanted to show them my system of trading futures, which has an 87% win rate. But I don't do that because everybody's different, like I have a little bit of a gambler inside me. So when I let I have this voice in the back of my head that says, fuck this, let's get this right now, let's hit it right now, So my emotions take over versus doing something robotic. If you could follow a plan and you could do something robotic and stick to the plan and don't deviate and be cold as ice, then you could make it as a broker, possibly. But, that's why for me, since I learned about this in January, like, honestly, I can't sleep at night, and it's an amazing opportunity. It's exactly what banks do, what institutions do. And that's how I want to make money too. They take your money, they give you 0.01%, and they make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They lend the money to your neighbor for him to buy his house. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this just lets you take.
And they don't even have to have the cash in the bank. It's fractional. You give them $10, they can loan out 100.
Exactly.
And what's a future?
Future is a contract. It's like a commodity based, like, corn. There's crude oil futures. Futures, actually, the stock market follows the futures pricing. So like you heard of the S&P 500?
Yeah.
So they have, so I used to trade E-mini S&P 500. So each contract is actually $7,500, but I would do it on leverage. So I had to put in $500 to trade. So there's this whole,
but you're basically betting on the future value of the stocks, right?
Exactly. But right now, it doesn't matter what the cost of the stock is. If I say I want to buy now, for example, E-mini S&P 500 futures, it was $50 a point per contract. So if I buy one contract and it goes up 10 points, I made $500, and I click another button and I'm out. And with the power of leveraging, in order to buy one contract, I only had to have $1,000 in the bank account, which it's all changed since the stock market crashed. They changed it to 2,500. So once the stock market crashed back in March and February, I took a step back and I was like, I'm not. It was so volatile. It was like each candle was like 50 points. So you could get lucky, but
because that leverage can get you too, right? Like,
yes,
as much as the leverage can help you, it can hurt you real bad too, right?
Sure, because if it actually gaps down, not only do you lose the money in your account, you could owe them money.
You're over leveraged, yeah.
You could owe them money.
It's like if you bought like a property, like 17 million, all the property values go down, and now you're over leveraged on the property, owing more than what it's worth, right?
Exactly. You went upside down on your property, and then the banks stop lending you money and they take it all away. So that's what happened in futures. Usually, you know, fortunately that didn't happen to me, but when the market is moving so quickly, they'll actually, it's called automatic stop. The computer will take you out, will stop you based on how much money you have. So when you reach about 50% of your balance and your account and they see that you're at risk, they'll stop you. I forgot what it's called. It's like an auto stop. They'll just take you out of the trade, whether you're, you know, obviously you're losing money. They're not going to do it if you're up money, but you know, and you get pissed off because 2 minutes later it could have went in your direction. And meanwhile they took you out. But so for me, that hot plate feeling, you know, do I like making money? Yeah, it feels fucking great. Do I like losing money? No, it feels horrible. And I felt like, you know, I felt like somebody killed my dog the days that I lost money, you know? So, and I just didn't like that. So I figure like this, it's arbitrage. You're making money on efficiencies between exchanges, which has been going on for the past 20 years. They do this in bond markets. They do this with currency. You can do this straight with foreign exchange currency also. So this is nothing new. They have just, you know, they just made a better.
That's all the Forex market is, right? Like that's all the Forex market is just changing commodities in that way, right?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. Because you're betting, let's say the US dollar, Great British Pound, you're betting that the Great British Pound is going to go up versus the US dollar, you know, you're just betting one commodity is going to go up versus the other one. And it's definitely, it's speculating, you know, you're speculating, but you could do this as well. Because, for example, if you're trying to exchange the Russian ruble to the US dollar, you can go directly from the ruble to the dollar, or you can go from the ruble to the euro and then the euro to the dollar. And then the euro to the dollar might have a completely different correlation between the ruble to the dollar. So it might not even make any sense. And that's how banks make money. That's how a lot of people do this stuff. There's other companies that offer you arbitrage opportunities, but nothing is as solid as this. And the team behind it, the amount of money they raised, the technology, everything is, you know, and the referral structure. I'm sold. I was initially super skeptical, like I said, for the 20th time, and I hired my own developer. And the results that we found is there's actually more money to be made than they're letting on, you know. But what they're doing, it makes sense, because if there's 24 opportunities per day and they're only leveraging 5%, just to make that 1%, you know, 5 times 20 is 100. It makes sense. Their system is actually ingenious, you know, versus unless you're bullish on Bitcoin, which I am, then you don't care what the price of Bitcoin is because it's going to go up and down either way. But I'd rather just take my 1% and move on, you know, safely.
And you think this is just not more popular right now with investors because it's just fairly new in terms of how they're doing it?
They just don't know about it.
Company? They should know about it. There's just so much going on. They don't
know about it. I mean, they're typical. Look, you can make the same money selling naked options. You know, have you ever heard of naked options? Like, you can buy a stock and sell it at a certain price to a person playing with options, and it will even TD Ameritrade will even give you the probability of you actually having to exercise that option if it gets there. It's a cone. So
right.
So if you do it above 90% probability, that means that 90% of the time it's not gonna hit that. But what happens the 10% of the time that it does, right? You're risking an infinite amount of money loss. So that's, for example, is called selling naked options, you know? So there's tons of way to make, it's like collecting rent on real estate, you know? Yeah, you can collect your rent on real estate and it's great. I have a building in Chicago that has 27 units, but when 5 of them don't pay me, it's factored into my plan because I know I'm going to have 5% of the people are like, you know, I know that 5 apartments are always going to be deadbeats and not paying me. That's why I bought multifamily versus having a commercial building where I'm making good money. I only have to deal with one tenant, but what happens when that one tenant doesn't pay me? I don't get squat, you know? So it's all about how risk averse you are. And if you're not risk averse like me, and you don't want to be risking and you just want to make amazing profits regardless, you know, this is your huckleberry, you know?
I got sold right from that reference alone. Sold me. Should have led with that one.
I'm sorry. You know, I'm your huckleberry. No, this is your huckleberry because this is exactly what This is why I like this so much. And believe me, Bobby, I'm not even a good salesman. Like I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I could have just told you everything good and kept my mouth shut. I'm not like that. I don't need to fuck anybody over. I want you to go eyes wide open into this opportunity, see what's happening, make money on it while you can, and, enjoy it. This is not going to end. Arbitrage is going to happen forever, Do I recommend recouping some of your initial investment when you can? Yeah, I'd be stupid to tell you not to. It's against my best interest, because when you pull money out, I make less money and Bobby makes less money. But at the end of the day, we're all friends here. We don't want to hurt each other, right?
Yeah. So the what am I asking? You only make money off of your current purchases, everything that's in the Bitcoin, the MC coin, right? Or not the balance, or does that not matter?
Yes, you only make money on your purchases. So, for example, I got 31,000 in here on Monday. So, for example, let's say my total returns. Yeah, you don't make money on that. That's like your wallet. You can pull it out. So let's say this 224, 219. I didn't make any profits on that. That just went towards my total balance that was available at any time for me to pull out.
So balance, that money's in a shoebox and the purchase is being used.
100%.
Simple.
Cool. Yeah, that's cool.
100%. And then if you sign people up, listen, for example, Bobby's interested in putting in, like, I put in 20 grand, right? So the guy who signed me up is making, let's say $224 was the thing, 224 times 0.08. The guy made $18. He's making $18 a day off of my thing. The guy who signed me up, he's my friend, so I don't care. Good for him. You know what I mean? He's making $18 every day from signing me up. And you don't know.
So that times 60 is going to be his 90-day, what he's making 90 days? Or can you pull the referral money every day?
You could pull the money that goes into your balance. The referral money.
Oh, got it. Okay.
You could do that every single day. So
when you're compounding, or go ahead. Sorry.
So what I was going to say is you make money on this system 20 days a week, Monday through Friday. 20 days a month, Monday through Friday. That's it, because the foreign exchange market closes on Friday at 6:30 p.m. and reopens on Sunday at 6:30 p.m. So if we go on this tomorrow night, these two options will be live. That's why I recommend that you actually email them right after we get off the phone. That happened to my property manager also, but then his account got approved 2 days later. Maybe like maybe they have some kind of compliance where 1 out of every 20 accounts gets flagged for like validation or whatever, or approval. I'm not exactly sure, but
I wrote that down, so I'll email them right after this.
Yeah, just email them, say, hey, I signed up and I just want to know, I want to put some money in. Where's my how come I don't have access? And they're really good. Their support is really good. They'll get back to you within 2 days. I'm sorry, Cal, go for it.
So I was just gonna ask, like when you have the compounded option selected, when you're getting returns from your referrals, is that being put into your purchases as well, or is that going into your balance?
Well, if you have this compounded, then it will. So it says.
Okay, cool. Even from the referral.
Yeah, even from the referral. I'm pretty sure. That's a good question. You can email them actually and ask them.
Well, like that would be a way to really enhance the.
They'll take it. Yeah, they do all of it. And plus, even if it doesn't, you could always put it in yourself.
Hey, Paul, what was the question?
The question was, is the profits from my referrals going to be compounded with?
So it goes into the same. I believe it does, Paul, because all that goes into your balance, and when you each $100 in your balance, it's purchased.
So that's pretty good. Like that guy that's making like $3,000 a day from referrals, if he's compounding that means he's putting, like he's growing his money quick.
There's one caveat, which also shows that this company's honest. Once your account reaches $100,000, you can't compound the profits anymore. They are thinking about changing that to $250,000, but they haven't done it yet. Or maybe they did.
Can you show your returns with the referrals?
Sure.
With referrals. I'm sorry to
So
interrupt
what
you.
would you do with that 100,000 then? Because obviously you want to continue to compound. Do you just take out 5,000 so it stays underneath 100,000 all the time?
Yeah. So I'm sorry. So basically what he did is he made another account. Let's say he made another account. He put like 20 grand in another account, and then he would transfer. Let's say he would have 80 grand in one account. He'd compound it until like, I think like you make 20 grand in like a month, or like less than a month with 80 grand. I think he made like 16 grand. And then he would just he would help his other account reach the 100 grand also. Hold on. Let me go over here if it'll show you transactions. No, let's say
I'm looking for
transactions.
that wheel.
Oh, that wheel here.
Yeah, but the wheel with it's.
So here it shows you my.
There you
money.
go, right there. There you go.
Yeah, it'll show you the returns. So I'm making right now. See, I told you I just started, right? I haven't been signing people up to this. There's some people you'll sign them up and they'll start right away. I'm more cautious because I have a lot of friends that I just don't want anybody to get hurt. So I wanted to make sure that that's not saying that you can't start referring people right away because you have social proof of me, you know. This thing just started in the United States in January and I've been in it every single day. And I think even if we show this, I'm going to log out. Is this good for you, Bobby? Is this what you wanted to say? So
yeah, that's exactly one, because I think that was it pertains to Cal's question.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Right. So
you can see that you even made 0.17% on the like as a return from the referral money.
You got it.
Right. So then actually, if you check.
And so just real quick, Paul, if I can jump in, going back to Thomas's question, it's the same point. So if you were to open up one account at just say $50 like you did, Cal, the second account you would want to open up at a much larger. And if you did it like Paul did at 20,000, that's $175 a month. So it's not chump change.
So Bobby, for your 100K goal,
assuming you get $100 a day, right? At point, you can calculate that at 0.08%. I mean, $175 is $175.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
So for you putting in 100K, Bobby, you're going to want to do 2 accounts then, right?
So we were talking about that.
Right away.
Yeah, exactly. That's why Paul mentioned that earlier. We were discussing.
Okay, yeah, cool. No, yeah, that makes sense for sure.
And then it's like, just like Paul said, every month you're going to make something like 16K, and just once you get close to 100, just transfer it over.
Yeah, and when you see Danny's, if you ever see Danny's, that's what he's done. You can clearly see that he's got several accounts.
I actually have the video. Of our last Zoom. So what I'll do is I'll upload it to YouTube. I'll make it a private video and I'll send you the link, and then you could share that with Thomas, because I don't want to because you see his Coinbase account and stuff, and I don't want to do that without anybody's permission. You know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
I'll ask his permission to do
that. Makes sense.
He'll more than gladly jump on the call with you and go over everything. I just he's and that's the good thing is you have me, you have Bobby, and you have Daniel also. If you have you get a group of people together, I think Cal met him. Cal saw his accounts as well, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
And these are totally different levels too, which is nice, right? Bobby's just starting out. You've got 30 in there already invested, and your friend already has 6K, right? Multiple accounts of 6 figures.
Yes, he's balling. He's balling. Yeah. He made 62,000 this month. I think was his best month or whatever.
And that's just
it's amazing.
62,000 in compound interest.
It's not. No, it's 62,000. So he's got about 200,000 in purchases. So he makes $1,000 a day from his referrals.
On top of his 200K.
On top of his 200K. That's what I saw.
And is he just leaving it in there, or is he taking it to Bitcoin and moving it around?
He's taking some out. He's taking, because 2 of his accounts already reached the maximum. So he's taking out profits to Bitcoin. He's taking about 3,500 out every single month. I mean, every single week to Bitcoin or whatever. I don't know what he's doing with it. Maybe he opened another.
But you got to pull it out anyways. Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
And that's a good way to recoup the investment as well. Like if you can, spend the 90 days and take let's say $1,000 a day. Well, by the time the 90 days is up, you might recoup 50% of your investment, and then the rest gets deposited in. Is that right?
Right. Plus, it doesn't make sense to leave it. So let's say you put 100 grand into one account. It doesn't make sense to leave the purchases in there because you're not compounding anything. So he's pulling out his money every single day. So he started that one account with 80 grand. So like if you see his total returns from his purchases, this thing says like 75%, you know? And if you look at my total returns, purchases. If you look at my purchases, it's cool. It'll tell you from the amount of money that was invested, how much was returned. So if I go to, hold on, I got to move this thing again. Okay, cool. So if I go, and I got to move this bar, so annoying. So if I go to page 6, and you could see from my first initial investment, if I wouldn't have touched, it's 60, since it's $100, I would have made 67.8% since I would have started. Probably more, because obviously when you compound more money, you make more money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But from this $700, I made $454. So that's already, I don't even know what that is. That's, let's just see. 700, what am I doing? 454.86 divided by 700. That's 65%, right? I made on that money. So it tells you off this $8,600 investment, I made $3,700. But I also, this $8,600 was put in March 3rd. So that's not that long ago. You know, I didn't put in 20 grand right away. Off of this 5,000, I made 2,200. It's close to like 50%, you know, in about 90 days, because I can withdraw all these. When this green thing lights up, means I can withdraw all this money.
Yeah, where the hell else can you find a return like that?
Nowhere.
So,
I mean,
so since January,
without speculating, you know.
Yeah.
So since January, you said they have that fluctuation at 0.5% to 1.5%. What is the average that you have seen?
Here, take a look.
Like what is your full average? You know.
Here, take a look. You know what? Oh, here. Hold on a second. Let me show you my purchases, returns obtained from my purchases, right? So you'll see.
It seems like you're sitting like right 1%, pretty much.
1.11, 1.08, 0.97, 0.88, 0.92.
That's how it was with that other guy's account too. The guy that I can't remember his name. My apologies.
Daniel.
But he was saying like 1% a day is closer to where he's at than the 0.5.
Yeah, I've never seen. It's never been 0.5.
Yeah, so Thomas, I tell you 0.5 because that's conservative.
Yeah, that's what Paul mentioned earlier too. That 0.5 to 1.5 was their window, but it's like everything that he's showing since January, it's like 1%.
Yeah, but you got to realize this 1% is minus 0.35% for their fee. So even though I made $300, that's why it comes out to 0.65. So if you look at 0.87 minus, 0.35, it comes out to 0.5%. You know.
So if we base all of our numbers off of that conservative 0.5, then you don't
have to. I mean, look. Like some weeks are better. Some weeks things are more stable. Like every day this last week was 0.7, 0.73, 0.73, and then you have weeks where it's all above 1%. 1.27. I got some days where there's 1.4%. So like, look how many days in a row. This is like 10 days. This is 2 weeks in a row. Yeah. Almost every day was above 1%. And then we have, look, this day is 1.43%, so the
so
most
if you just expect 0.5 a day, you'll wake up with a surprise every day.
Yeah, every day. Yeah, it seems pretty good if you're hopeful for the 0.5.
Yeah,
that's the lowest I've ever seen on you right there. That 0.64 was the lowest you hit at all, and that was like February
28th. Yeah. That was when the stock market was like tanking.
Yeah.
And even when the day before,
those are all huge.
They did 1.24, 1.33, I think I saw their average about 2 months ago was like 0.8 was the average. But I mean, if you look at it, 1.4, 1.3, 1.18, 1.01, and obviously, of course, because I didn't have any money in there, they're doing good, but
right.
But it is what it is. So if I actually log out of my account and we just go on to their main website. Hold on a second. All right. And then you have to change this in English. It's a little annoying, but whatever. So, and you go here.
We have to learn Spanish.
Yeah, if you got time for that. Habla español. So then basically This is their Bobby, check this out. This is their cumulative data for all time on their homepage. So out of 169 days of trading, they made 198%. 129% went to investors, and 69.6% went to Mind.Cap. Historical returns in the latest periods, Mind.Capital is earning daily between 0.5 and 1.5%. So that's what's up. That's why, that's what we say, you know. And then I haven't got, they just changed their website like last week. So they're actually opening their own exchange. It's called Gaia. I don't know why his picture isn't coming up, but he's like 72 years old. Like, this guy, it's not really going anywhere, you know. And then if you look, he's been on there like Good Morning America. He's a famous dude in Spain, you know. He's a music producer, film director, radio host. I think he's won Emmys and stuff like that. And then, you know, watch this movie when you have a chance. This is their team. And then they even have I think they have also, all their videos are here. So, you know, business presentation in English. This is Simon Stepsis. You can see him. I think that guy's worth like 60 or 70 million. So it says a lot when certain people join these things, because, you know, nobody wants, like, even Cal's, you know, you guys don't know him, but Cal's throwing parties with like 10,000 people in here, you know, 10,000 people in his parties. And Cal is, you know, he's a savage. So for me, Cal, what was the most important thing to you? Is his brand, is his name. You know what I'm saying? You could chime in if you want.
That's absolutely it. Yeah. Yeah. I was just telling Paul, like, as far as, you know, like spreading the opportunity and stuff, like, for me, the most important thing is my brand, and I guess just how people perceive me. So, and it brings me a lot, you know, so I don't want to jeopardize that. And I think that, you know, going through these conversations has definitely helped me to feel a lot more comfortable, like, just talking about it day to day.
Cal had a party for this one of my friends. I met him from this guy's Leave Normal Behind, right? That's where I met you from. I forgot his name. What was his name? Rob. Yeah, Rob has his own thing called Leave Normal Behind, and he's throwing parties for Rob, like over 10,000 people in Utah. You know, so that, you know, it's not a joke. You know, especially with a little marketing. And the best way to share this opportunity is just to say, hey man, you know, you're my friend. I want to share this opportunity with you. And then you get people on the phone like me or Bobby or like Daniel, and we just go through our experiences, and that's it. And if you do look at this up on YouTube, there are dudes who say, oh, this is a scam or whatever. There's a guy named Kevin. You know, if you look at that, all those videos are from the beginning of January when this thing first came up. The rest of the videos are my 90 days with Mind.Cap. You know, and at the end of the video, Kevin says, hey, I'm Kevin. I'm just a normal guy. Learn how to make $1,000 a day. Click on this link, you know? So what a great way to get eyeballs on your site by calling something a scam. They have tons of cryptocurrency evaluators out there also that have evaluated this and have made money on it. And it's pretty cool. If you go on YouTube and you look, my 90 days with Mind.Capital, everybody's made money on it, including me. So January 29th, that's over 9. You know, I've been over 90 days. I don't know, 120 days. And you'll see all those videos are from January. Nobody's saying anything right now at all, because you can't prove it. You know, they say, hey, you know, you can't, they're saying you could compound your interest, but you can't compound it 7 days a week. They're a scam. No, you can't compound it 7 days a week because foreign exchange isn't open 7 days a week. They're not trading 7 days a week. So every single thing that they say bad about this company,
scraping the bottom of the barrel, like trying to find something.
Yeah, they're opportunists. They're like a lobster, you know, or somebody, you know, bottom feeders that are trying to get eyeballs, you know, and that's actually called arbitrage marketing. So go figure, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like let's say, you know, you guys have gyms, obviously. Let's say you go on and you start bash, you know, this is messed up, but I could do it. I can give your competitor 10,000 negative reviews, you know, easily by a robot, you know. Is that going to do? And then at the end of each review, you're saying, hey, I'm Coach Thomas. Come to my place. I'll teach you the right way to lose weight and get fit and yada, yada, yada. It works. It's not ethical, but it works. So Oh, I think
Cool.
you're muted.
Yo, I probably got to hop off, Paul, but I appreciate
Sure,
you.
Cal. Thank you, man. If you guys have any
Steele,
questions,
I know you've been listening, Steele, as well. So we'll talk a little bit after this, and I appreciate all of you on the call today. Learned a lot. Thank you.
Hey, absolutely.
man.
I'm going to second Calvin there. Paul, I appreciate you taking the time. It was very interesting, and I look forward to hopefully hopping on with this. And I'll keep in touch with Calvin, but appreciate all of you. And
all right. Thanks, Steele.
God
God bless you guys. Be safe.
God bless.
Take care.
Peace.